Let's talk money.
Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of Let's Talk Money. Well, the festive season is here, and let me start by wishing all of our viewers a very prosperous and happy season filled with celebration, laughter, and good wishes and good vibes. So here's a big shout out going from the entire team that puts this show together to all of our viewers. Now, this is that time of the year when we really feel like rewarding ourselves and our families. And why not? We've all worked hard through the course of the year. But the tricky part is, how do we do this without breaking the bank or without breaking our PF plan and entirely tearing it apart? When helping us perform this very tough and delicate balancing act this season is Harshvardhan Roongta, who's of course a certified financial planner himself. Harsh, thank you so much for joining in. Looking great. Greetings of the festive season to you as well.
Thank you so much, Surbhi, and greetings to you and all our viewers for that.
Thank you so much. So the season has only begun with the whole Navratra and Dussehra excitement, and it's all the way up to Diwali, right? And let's face it, when we all want to, this is what we try and save up for or reward ourselves for. And this year you have the GST cuts, etc. So generally there's a feel-good factor in the air.
Absolutely, and in fact, the primary purpose of earning is to support your family, to spoil them, to spoil yourself. So if it's well within reasonable range, I mean, why should you not spoil yourself and spend for yourself? I mean, what else are you earning for otherwise?
This is where it's tricky. When you talk to planners, they say, of course you should go and spend, of course you should enjoy yourself, but within the rules and within the reasonable limits. So okay, let's start with this, what are these reasonable rules of spending that you adhere to?
So see, very simply, Surbhi, I mean, there has to be, when you're planning, okay, when you're creating your financial plan for that matter, you keep some spoil me fund, okay?
A spoil me fund.
Yeah, of course. I mean, why not? I mean, every individual has aspirations to own something that they like. It could be watches, it could be shoes, it could be pens, it could be cars, bikes, it could be anything for that matter, right? And if you're going to put in so much of effort to earn, there are a lot of sacrifices that an individual makes, right? Now, if you're not going to be able to do or rather spoil yourself during your earning years, then it doesn't make sense, right? The level of dissatisfaction is going to always be there. Now, the trick is what? You should also know one fact for sure. There are some things that you can do when you're in 20s. There's something you can do in 30s. If you postpone that for 60s, it's not going to help you. Right.
So you're sounding very encouraging. I like this idea that spend. You should spoil yourself to an extent. But what is the spoil me fund? I mean, you have an emergency fund, you have the investment corpus, and you have the retirement fund. Now, where is the money then? What to put in the spoil me fund?
Exactly. Now, this is where early planning comes into play. So take an individual. Okay, so we're talking about people who are just getting into workforce, for example. So they are like, say, 20s. They're in the mid 20s. And at that point in time, if you instill a good discipline, which to say that whatever you get in your hand is net of TDS, like tax is already deducted, and you get in your hand. You deduct another 20% out of it to say that this money is not coming into my hands.
Okay.
And that 20% is essentially for all your plans. So it could be short-term emergency, it could be your short-term goals, long-term spoil me fund, holiday fund. It could be anything.
Okay.
Now, if you started early and you started in the right manner, then you will be able to achieve all of this all throughout your life.
So 20% of your take-home salary needs to be completely set aside for a proper PF plan.
Yes.
Which will include a lot of these factors: retirement, short-term goals, spoil me fund, if I got you right.
Absolutely. So, in fact, that's the whole idea, because if you cannot save 20% of what you're earning today, imagine a time when you have no income. Then how are you going to fund yourself? So if you can't even set aside 20% today, it's going to be a big disaster going further when you have no income coming your way.
It's a very reasonable ask. I must say that compared to, and we have so many experts and planners coming on the show, some really scare us. But I think saving 20% from your income every month and then investing it right, saving it right, putting it in an emergency corpus, etc. I think that's a very reasonable ask. So it's a good place to
Just
start.
one correction here. 20% is for those who are in the 20 to 30 years bracket.
Oh. Oops. Okay.
So
there's the catch.
So if you miss that bus, or rather if you've already missed that bus and you're in your 30s, then the percentage saving has to go up.
Okay.
Because you missed that 10 years of the golden period of compounding as well. If you get into your 40s and 50s, then the percentage saving has to go up. So that's the price you pay for delay, is what we will talk about.
For those who lived the good life throughout their 20s, didn't adhere to your 20% savings rule, in the 30s, how much do they have to set aside?
Probably 30 to 40%. But that's the price you pay for not starting early, right?
For not starting early. Fair enough. So start early, start saving, start investing. And then You are allowed to spoil yourself, says our expert. So we have something very interesting that we're going to do on the show today. They say that, charity begins at home. For us here at CNBC TV18 on Let's Talk Money, financial planning also begins at home. So what we've done is that we usually take a lot of questions from our viewers, but for the purpose of this show and this season, we had a fair amount of in-house queries coming in, Harshvardhan, on how do I decide whether I can afford this festive season. So we have a couple of my colleagues, and they were kind enough to, actually let it out.
Oh, great.
But I really want to get to the questions. With your permission, should we start?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I'd love to hear what they want to do, because I'll be meeting them off the camera.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
this time, yeah.
Then you can grill them more. So, okay, let's kick it off. Parag, who's the force behind our ticker team, he's joining in as he's planning his festive shopping and his festive splurging spree. Parag, what do you have in mind?
Hi, Surbi. Just the festive season is coming, so I'm looking to buy some jewelry, platinum jewelry in specific. It will cost me around 80,000 bucks. So,
wow, lucky, the lucky lady in the life. I don't know, whether it's a special someone,
currently
whoever.
it's just my sister, Surbi, but soon I can give you another good news soon.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So platinum jewelry worth 80,000. But I'm very sure Harshvardhan will want more details. Some idea of your annual income. It could be, salary, interest, whatever, all your income sources put together, and some idea of your expenses and current investments or savings as well.
Certainly, I'll give you a little bit of an idea. So my annual income is around 16 lakhs. Monthly expenses comes around 10,000 bucks. And other than that, I have at least 6-month coverage in case something awry happens. So these are my specifics, if you have any suggestions regarding that.
What a good boy, Parag, huh? Managing to limit your monthly expenses to 10,000.
Yeah,
I want to run away. I want to hide under this table right now, but Harsh, you heard him. He's looking for, spending 80,000 rupees on jewelry this year.
So, well, Parag, congratulations to you. I mean, I'm surprised myself that you can sustain with a monthly expenditure of 10,000 rupees.
I try my best.
I think boy. Parag should take a session on how to live
within your means, how to live frugal. Yeah.
So there are two elements to this. One, of course, it's a gift that he wants to give to his sister. So I think that's a good emotion. That's a good gesture for that matter. Considering looking at platinum, I think he's smart again. Because had it been
he's not chasing gold.
He's not chasing gold. Because gold has, I think, just gone through the roof and through affordability quotient of many people. So I think platinum is a good idea. And if you look at the numbers, okay, so earning an X amount, spending Y, that he's already mentioned, I think there's enough room for him to at least take this plunge for something like this. Platinum again, okay, let's put it into two different categories again. You would have some purchases that would be depreciating assets. Yeah. Okay, some would be appreciating in that context. So platinum also falls in that category where over a period of time you're expected to have an appreciation in the value as well.
But this is not an investment, right? We need to make that distinction that since this is a gift and that to jewelry, it is not looking at precious metals like platinum from an investment angle.
No, so we're talking about the sensibility that goes behind buying something. Okay. So if you're buying into, say, platinum jewelry, for example, so one, of course, it serves that emotional quotient that we're talking about. Yeah. I mean, it's a gift to sister, of course. I mean, great thing to do. The other is it's also not a highly depreciating asset. So in case tomorrow, in future, for that matter, if his sister wants to liquidate, there is free liquidity to that extent. So I think, given the income expenditure, given what he's buying, the quantum, the size of the purchase, which is 80,000 rupees, Parag, please go ahead. I mean, you've all the liberty to go ahead and spoil yourself and your sister for that matter.
Wow, well done, Parag. You're getting a full thumbs up, and our planning expert is telling you, giving you the green flag. Go ahead and enjoy the festive season. Thank you so much for joining in. I'll let you get back to work. Okay, I think we've got Ishita joining in as well. Okay, Ishita will join us in just a bit. She's got some ideas. Now, I just want to ask you here that appreciating assets are very few. I mean, you'll come down to gold, silver, maybe someone wants to book a house, fine. But largely, otherwise, festive spends are all depreciating in nature. Whether it's a car, whether it is a pair of new shoes, whether it's, a fancy new 60-inch TV. So then how do you, look at the expense versus the return?
So, Surbi, there is a cost-benefit analysis. The value is, if you're spending something, what is the value that you're getting?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're buying into a very large television set, as you mentioned, why are you buying that large television set? Okay, and if you're buying it for say some sound quality, or you're looking at some the quality of the picture, etc., then you might want to go in for a branded, a high value item for that matter. I'm not taking names of the brands because we don't want to get into that zone.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a large TV which does not have a top end feature kind of a thing, then you may possibly look at something which is reasonably available at a lower price with the same size. If you're a gaming enthusiast, then you might want something else in that television. So I think most of the buyers miss that point as to what are you paying for and what are you getting.
Ask for the specifics. Why do you really want it?
So
and whether it's worth the price.
There's something called features, benefits, and advantages. So every feature will have certain benefits, but do those benefits really are advantages to me?
Now, I think our next participant will really want to talk to you about this. I have an inkling that she's looking at a phone, but let's find out more. Ishita, who's such a vibrant member of our production team, our desk, which puts all the amazing market content for you together through the course of the day. Ishita, go on. Welcome to Let's Talk Money. Great to have you as a participant. What do you want to buy this season?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Surbhi. I am actually, as you mentioned, looking to buy a phone, specifically an iPhone. I'm planning to upgrade my phone to the new iPhone 17 Pro Max. My salary is in the range of 12 to 15 lakhs, and my monthly expenses come up to 40 to 50,000 with the rent and all the other expenses. I do have some SIPs and a few savings, and I don't have any EMIs, but given how expensive the iPhone is, I was wondering how I can go about it.
Yeah, good point. Ishita, just wondering, your SIPs and whatever you manage to put in as monthly investments, roughly what would that amount be? 5,000, 10,000? How much are you able to invest every month?
I think between 5 to 10,000, that's a good range.
That's what you do every month. Okay, all right, thanks. Let me ask Harshvardhan what the right approach is. Now, what we were just discussing, Harsh, the cost-benefit analysis. For someone my age, I mean, I'm still on an Android, and you can convince me, saying, do you really need it? And it's okay, phone to phone hai. I mean, how much do you need? But Ishita is from a very different generation, right? So iPhone 17 Pro Max.
So, well, I'm on Android myself. And
we're outdated.
We're outdated, I guess. And, see, again, with Ishita's specific case, I mean, understand a few things. The income is, between 12 to 15 lakhs.
Yeah.
The phone that we're talking about is the top-end model of the new launch. Okay, so that's about 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees.
Yeah.
Now, if you compare it from the expenses that she incurs every month, it's almost 5 months expense. If you're going to buy this phone, it's equivalent to 5 months of your monthly expenditure.
Yeah.
And she says she wants to upgrade. So the real questions to ask would be, why do you want to upgrade? Is your existing phone not serving the purpose? Is it that you like the new design, color, or you just want a latest phone in your hand?
Yeah.
Well, all in all, I would want to disappoint her a little bit to say that it doesn't sound like a very fine advice. I mean, decision to make. I mean, she should avoid this kind of a purchase at this stage, because if you also notice, we discussed the quantum of SIP, which is 5 to 10,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Well, there is really a lot of scope to increase that. If we talked about 20% of the income take home should be investments. Now, if she's taking home, say, about 1 lakh a month, the investments are only to the extent of 5 to 10,000 rupees. Now, that has to go up to 25,000 rupees at least. So if you spend this kind of money on a phone, then you're squeezing yourself and depriving your own self of future needs that you may have.
Here, just a quick follow-up question, because I'm very sure Ishita has already done the search, but a lot of these, high-ticket electronic items are available on financing as well. And financing offers tend to be very lucrative right now, zero-cost EMI or, bare minimum, take the phone for 2,000 rupees a month and things like that. Could that be a way of not disappointing yourself and somehow managing that EMI along with your SIP?
Not really, because, I'll tell you this, the loop of EMIs and buying high-ticket items on loan and equating your purchasing ability with EMI capabilities. I think that's the wrong thing to do. So we usually see people doing this for even cars. They'll go in for a mid-size car and then, say it's a 3-year loan and your EMI is 50,000, for example. Now, the salesman has understood that you can pay 50,000 a month. So he said, why don't you take a 7-year loan with 50,000 rupees, but upgrade your car?
Yeah.
So the buyer is always thinking that, okay, I have to pay 50,000, which I can afford.
Yeah.
But in the bargain, you're extending your loan tenure from 3 years to say possibly 7 years.
Yeah.
So eventually over 7 years, you're going to pay more.
Yeah.
So I think, you should respect your money very well. Very seriously, you should take what you earn because you spend a lot of your effort behind that.
Let me ask Ishita if she's convinced. Ishita, sorry, but the advice from the expert here is that maybe not right now. What do you say? Are you convinced?
Oh, well, it's a very sound advice, and I'd love to even take in their words into consideration. So definitely I'll take their advice into consideration.
Okay, so more on the SIP, less on the iPhones, the other eye.
Right.
More on the investments. All right, thank you so much, Ishita, for taking out the time for us. We'll take a very quick break. One more colleague joining up on the other side with another interesting purchase idea. We're doing in-house planning 101, and these are all lessons for all our viewers out there. These are internal case studies, but they apply to each and every one of us so we can make smarter budgeting and spending decisions this festive season. Back after the break.
Let's talk money.
Welcome back. You are with the festive special edition of Let's Talk Money, and this week we are gearing up all our viewers to make smarter spending decisions this festive season as we get set for Diwali. So the next 20 days promise to be really, really exciting. You've been hearing from a couple of our colleagues, and now it's Gaurav's turn. Gaurav, of course, is no stranger to financing or financial institutions. He's part of our research team and he tracks that sector so closely. But Gaurav, I completely hear you, because when it comes to our own money, our investment and spending decisions, then we can do with some guidance, right? Myself included. So you tell us, what's on your mind? What are you buying this Diwali?
Well, Surbi, yes, I always had an aspiration to buy a 650cc sports bike, and it is going to be a bit heavy on my pocket because it's cost around 7 to 8 lakhs. So definitely, I need some kind of advice how to go about it, because it's going to be a bit heavy on my pocket, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So you already know what's happening with interest rates, Gaurav. I don't need to tell you that. Hopefully, they're all going lower. But yeah, just help our expert out. Harshvardhan is here in the studio. Just help him out with your current expenses, overall, income, lifestyle, and some idea about your current safety corpus or your current investments as well, so he can do the plan.
So currently, when we look at my total income, it is somewhere between 15 to 20 lakhs, and total expenses, when we go about it, it is somewhere around 60 to 80,000, because it also includes my rent and other expenses. I have an EMI, which is a small portion of it, which is around 20 to 25,000. And apart from that, I need a safety margin of around 6 months of my income, which is around 3 to 4 lakhs is what I'm aspiring to keep. And when we look at the investments, I do my SIP somewhere in the range of 3 to 4 lakhs per annum. So definitely, that is all what I'm doing right now with my finances.
Okay, so hang on. So assuming that the annual income is, let's say, 20 lakhs, you are now looking to create that safety corpus, right? That, worth 6 months' salary. You're looking to build that. In addition, you have an existing EMI also running.
Right.
So total monthly expense is how much?
Monthly expense
all of
goes
this put
somewhere in the
together?
range of 60 to 80,000.
Including your SIP?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Harsh, now help him out. Big fancy bike.
Yeah,
7 lakhs, 8 lakhs.
Yeah, so, if you look at the numbers, I mean, given the annual income, given the expenditure, including EMIs and your savings, I think it's a healthy savings rate that he enjoys today. There's only one area that needs some bit of attention, is that he wants to create the emergency corpus.
Yeah.
So, and he's conscious about it, and I'm hoping that he would work very actively towards it. Now, given these parameters, I mean, and also, the aspiration to own a luxury bike, also, okay, there's another rule that we try and follow when it comes to buying vehicles, okay? So cars particularly, if you are somebody who holds your cars and keeps it for up to 10 years, then you can consider buying something worth equivalent to 1 year's income. 1 year's
annual income.
Annually.
So the car you want to buy is not necessarily the one that James Bond was driving, but affordability is one year's annual income.
Yeah, so in this case, if Gaurav was buying a car, for example, he could go up to, and if he's intending to keep the car for 10 years, then he could buy something in the range of 18 to 20 lakhs.
Okay.
Now, if you're somebody who keeps a car only for 5 years and then you keep switching, then you should target to buy a car equivalent to 50% of your annual income. So in
like
this
10
case, it would be
lakhs,
10
yeah,
lakhs.
10 lakhs.
I'll tell
and
you
what
why.
about bikes? And does the same rule apply to bikes?
So bikes, usually come don't really cost 7 to 8 lakhs, right? So
In his case.
in his case it is because it's like an aspirational luxury purchase kind of a thing. Now, keeping everything else in mind, I mean, I think he can go ahead with the purchase if he wishes to. Just one condition, and it's a luxury bike. So I don't think he's going to flip it over in 5 years. So he's going to keep it for longer, I believe.
Let's ask him, Gaurav. Are you going to keep it at least for 5? I wonder where will you ride it in on Mumbai city roads.
You're absolutely right, but this is just an aspiration. And being a man-child myself, I think it is going to be something that I'll keep forever.
Oh, lovely.
So, so in vehicle purchase, there is something called a total cost of ownership concept.
Yeah.
So what you buy is not your total cost. I mean, it's going to be what you're going to spend over a period of time.
Absolutely.
And so I think given all circumstances, I think, Gaurav, you can most certainly go ahead with this purchase. Just ensure it's a double seat at least. I mean, you
we want to ride as well. We're coming. You want to see which one it is.
Definitely, I'll make sure of that.
Good luck with those plans, Gaurav, and treat. Make sure the day the bike is booked, we need party in the office. So
Sure, I'll do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us.
Surbi, you plugged yourself into the double seat. It was probably somebody else that he had in mind.
वो तो होगा. It's okay. We also need one ride, na? Some
Absolutely.
fancy set of wheels that he's going to get. But coming down to final thoughts. So you mentioned this rule of 2 in the break. Harsh, it helps us decide whether we can afford something or not. Just explain, what is this rule of 2?
So, Surbi, whenever you're looking to buy something which is in the luxury segment, it is in the aspirational purchase segment, you should always apply the rule of 2. Now, what is that? So, suppose you, like for example, if Ishita is planning to buy an iPhone, the question she should ask herself, can I afford 2 iPhones right now?
How you're struggling to figure out financing for one?
So exactly. So if you cannot afford 2 at one time, then you can't even buy one.
Oh.
So like for example, if you're buying a luxury car, so we had somebody come up to us and say that, look, I want to buy a top-end BMW. So I said, can you buy 2 of it right now? So he said, no. I said, luxury items, if you cannot buy 2 at one time, then you should not even buy one.
Oh.
I'm not saying if you can afford 2, which means you go and buy 2. How do you equate yourself? How do you ask yourself that kind of question, that is it a right purchase, whether I can afford it or not? So the rule of 2.
Okay.
So if you're aspiring to buy a large television for that matter, it's not for only just viewing news channels, it's more for having fun. You ask, can I buy 2 of it right now? If you can, then go ahead. If you can't, then please don't go ahead. So that's the rule of 2, just trying to give you some sense whether you can afford that luxury that you're looking at or not.
I need to go back and recheck my entire math for my festive spending now with this whole new rule of 2 that you've brought in. But a great session. Harshvardhan, thank you so much for joining in. This was fun, but it was also very informative. It helps us think right when it comes to our indulgences, our shopping spree this season. So thank you very much for joining in.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Well, viewers, hope this has been helpful. Hopefully it gives you some sort of a thought framework when you look at how to spend your money, hard-earned money, wisely, and have lots of fun this season. Once again, wish you season's greetings, and we'll be back with more on Let's Talk Money next week.
Let's Talk Money